Good morning. Welcome to Presence of Light with charlierivermanbergeron here on the first day of March. It's a joy to be here with all of you to call into your hearts the messages that come through me and just to give us all a blessing for newness and goodness. Today's topic arose this morning, and the message was because of so much pain and suffering I saw before I even actually got out of bed. I felt and this week, and realized that wow, humanity is really going through a great time of pain and suffering. And perhaps it's not any worse than it has ever been, but I am more consciously aware of it. And I think each of you are consciously aware of it as well. So good morning, Anita. Good morning, Julia. Good morning, Margaret, Joni, Shelley. Let's see if I can get this to scroll today. We never know what we're going to get. So maybe yes, maybe no. All right. Angelica. Okay. We're just going to roll with this, and so I just finished my show notes, which took quite a while. Those are always posted on my my blog, so I invite you all to tune into my blog, and it's over in the headlines over there, and it gives you the address of it. There's going to be more, I think, coming out on that. I seem to be taking a shift and moving away from some of the Facebook stuff. It'll be posted there as well, but I feel that my voice needs to reach greater possibilities. So with that said, each of you, I'm sure, are going through processes that are opening you to new awareness of how you can be more effective in your own life. And this too is what goodness is about. So as you see, I have this yellow shirt, and this was the last thing I wrote this morning, was talking about this yellow shirt. I got up and I says, it was before dawn, and I says, I can't deal with this darkness. I got to have something bright. I got a bright yellow shirt, so that's what I'm putting on. And I said, well, I won't wear it for the show, blah, blah, blah. You go through this ego stuff. And I says, no, it's staying. This is who we are. We are this golden light, and I will refer to it later in the thing. But what was interesting, it's a shirt from St. Thomas, which is an island in the Virgin Islands. For those of you around the world, it's a common place that we in America go to vacation, and it was a gift to me from somebody who went there. And I was guided to look up St. Thomas, from the disciple of Jesus, who was known as Doubting Thomas. And I just thought it was hilarious when I tapped into that and realized that even though he doubted the resurrection of Jesus, and doubted, even though he was right there with him, doubted the power of what he was witnessing, he later became a missionary, and his whole life changed when he realized that the light really was in him as well. And that's what today's message is really about, is that when we tap into the true starlight of who we are and share the goodness we are with others, everything in our life changes. So goodness is Godness, as I put up in the little message board up there. That's the definition. It came from Old English, And it's always how I felt about it. But then I'm a wordsmith, so I play with words, take them apart, put them back together. This is who I am. And it was also the first card I pulled this morning. And what was interesting was that in the explanation of, let's see, what have I got? Goodness. Yeah, here it is, goodness. In the explanation of that, I've kind of rewritten it, not to copyright infringe and all that stuff, and just try to put it in my own words, was I realized that each one of us are here to perform acts of goodness. And that's, how more simple can it get, really? What does it take to perform an act of goodness? All it takes, really, is each of us just keeping our hearts open and letting the light, the peace, the light, and the love that we are flow through without impediment, without any hesitation. Trusting this higher self, this higher being we are, this glorious, amazing being of light that we are, this divine being, to flow. Like the water flows over the rocks, around the rocks, wherever it can, it finds a channel and it will flow. This is the message. This is what I see as March 1st, a promise, a gift that says we don't have to continue in this pain and suffering. And we're the ones who are going to change that. Happy Friday. Thank you, Anita. I'm not on the big screen. Good. I have my little screen. Anita showed me a picture of what I look like on some 60-inch screen, and I said it was scary. I couldn't imagine it. I just live in my little world here and speak to you. Love you all. That world of the big screen no, that's not me. So the card that I pulled, and you can tell my energy is up. This is what it's about. It's about raising your energy, my energy, all our energies, and sharing that. That's the goodness. That's the goodness we are. So the card went on to really remind me of why I'm here and why I'm willing to speak and why I uphold energy for others during very stressful times. Many people say, you can't do this for, you can't do this for free. You got to charge people, and all of this. And so that's in process, but it's not important. What's important is that each one of us become willing to do this and do it from a place of honesty and integrity. And so we see in the world now, goodness is sometimes being commercialized and sold. And I'm not happy with that. That really bothers me, that we're making an industry out of a commodity, just like we want to make a commodity out of water, out of goodness. To me, that's a violation. I agree that we all have to earn a living, and we command respect by putting a price on things for people, because when we don't pay for something or don't exchange some energy for something else, then it doesn't hit home as much. But there's a limit. There's a limit. And for all of you who are listening out there, I say this because this is part of our service. We've got to come back into a part of our service. That was none of my writings, but that's what's coming through. So the goodness was, I know I am guided by a higher power, and the voice of truth guides me to all that is good. Isn't that lovely? I know I am guided by a higher power, and the voice of truth guides me to all that is good. And so I read the rest of the things, and I sort of tapped into them, and they follow like this. Hearing and listening to the voice of my Creator, I become centered and peaceful. And that's what I ask you to do, is ask to the voice of your Creator, however you choose to believe that, or follow that, or worship that, or whatever it is for you. Listen, become centered and peaceful. If it's not making you centered and peaceful, then it's not the voice of your Creator or your team, your spirit team, your guides, your angels. My inner knowing becomes enlightened and encourages me to express it to others. So this is what, when we listen, if we're not encouraged to go out and share that, let's stop and think about what it is we're receiving. Goodness is what Creator provides to all of us. Goodness is what is all we really have to give to anyone. It's really simple. And in doing it, Creator speaks of eternal life and guides us towards our spiritual abundance, which is always available, present, accessible. It's always there. It's always behind the clouds. It's always behind the closed door. It's always there. It's always present. It's the power of creation. This is why we use the term Creator. It's about creating. What are we going to create now? March 1st, 2019. Let's step off the platform. Let's step off the boat. Whatever it is you're facing, gather your energy. Let's move forward. Let's move into the newness, the nowness, the gifts that we really, truly have, but have been fearful of being seen using. Just like when we were children, same thing. We could do amazing things. But when we did them, they said, oh, you can't do that. No, not. So we learned to not take pride, and I don't mean excessive pride, but to take heart in who we are as these amazing, magical beings. Each of you. I see you as I go down the list. It's scrolling today. Judy, good morning, Judy. Glad to have you with me, darling. You are the magic. You are the magi. You know, the magi in the Christ story. You are the magi. Bearing gifts. What was that all about? That was goodness. They came to share goodness in the form of herbs, in the form of valuable materials, witnessing the glory of what the power of that child that they were told about from their guides and traveled thousands of miles to witness. This is where we are right now. We're here traveling thousands of miles to witness a birthing of humanity that has never been done before. I know I get excited and I say that because it's really, really what I'm seeing Each one of you are an integral part of this, no matter where you are, no matter what illness you have, no matter what suffering your heart has, no matter what sense of loss you have. You have a great gift to give to the world. And I'm asking you to show up and give it. Just share goodness, your godness. That's all it is, your godness. Share it. Bring it forth. Doesn't have to be done on a grand scale. It can be due to a small bird in the field. It doesn't matter. Just get in the practice of sharing it, of tapping into it, and accepting that this is who you are. So I also pulled a Kuan Yin card this morning because now I'm talking, everything was in the masculine, and which you didn't hear there because I changed it to creator rather than have that inference. But I looked and I saw the yin and yang, and I said, okay, so this is the masculine energy. Let's tap into the divine feminine energy. So I pulled a Kuan Yin card, and it was the Book of Changes. So what does the feminine, what does the divine feminine creator aspect of us have to tell us today, this week, this month, this year, as we move forward? And we move forward in balance. And this is part of why I pulled the Kuan Yin, was to produce a balance. There's no one that's more powerful than the other. They work in tandem together. This perversion that we've been living in for thousands of years now is ending. That's why you see all of the chaos. This is why you see all of this. It's ending. This is what it takes to re-prepare the way for us to step up into our hearts and be who we are. So let's disregard our programming of a masculine God and stop denying and negating the feminine, the divine feminine aspects of creatorship. So the Book of Changes is the card that I pulled from the Kuan Yin Oracle deck, and that's written by Alana Fairchild. I highly recommend that deck of cards to everybody. It's just so much powerful hope and prayerfulness in it. So I will read what the first part of that was. Just like a beautiful but unusual melody, the divine plan is unfolding through your life. Although it isn't always predictable, Kuan Yin is guiding you in the direction. Even though you do not fully understand what is happening in your life right now, Kuan Yin, allow Kuan Yin to bless you with trust in the unfoldment of your own divine path. The Book of Changes, the I Ching, you would say it in another word, is always at play, helping us find our way. You are just taking a smarter route to your destination. There's a promise. There's a promise that when we listen and when we integrate what we hear and what we feel through our hearts, we will be taking a smarter route to our destination. Doesn't matter whether we know what our destination is, because it will be aligned with who we are and what we're listening to. So what can ask ourselves, I wrote a question. So we might ask ourselves, what does that have to do with goodness or godness? I'm always questioning myself. I don't take everything that I do and I say and just say, oh, well, you know, this is it. I always question everything. Because it's in the questioning that we receive the answers. We receive the answers that are more aligned with who we are in our physicality. We can receive messages from all sources of divine beings and worlds within worlds. The process is they don't really reflect their true purpose until we get them in here. And we start to manifest them physically from and to each other. This is an important message. This is an important message, I feel, for all of us right now. Heather says the old system is not going down without a fight, as we see, and it seems the time of drawing poison out so we can finally heal and progress further. It is a cleansing and a clearing. And it's a clearing and cleansing of illusions and stories, old stories that were reworded, retold, in order for somebody to have power over somebody else. It's sad. Breaks my heart. But I've lived it, you've lived it, and now it's time to say, see you later. So, as I was tapping into the Kuan Yin message, each one of us has a unique energy signature, which has been aligned and passed on through our genetic lineage, all the way back to the stars. Many stories are told. Many indigenous cultures have tried to preserve that message. Along our history of evolution, they have all somewhat been perverted because we're a race of storytellers. Many times it wasn't done harmfully. It was just done through forgetfulness or lack of respect. So when we look up at the sky in the daytime, what do we see? We see our star, which doesn't really have a name, yet it has many names, more commonly called soul, S-O-L. But originally, as humanity, we worshiped the sun for a simple reason, because we could remember our own journey from many different stars, which really were the suns or creative energy forms from our original manifestation points. This is who you are. We have all come through light, by light, created in light. We are light. If we truly seek to find it within ourselves and bring it forth and shine. So the sun technically represents the light of abundance. The light of abundance, which is also goodness. Isn't abundance, we conceive goodness? When you want to give somebody, you want to give them something that's going to make them feel more full, make them, enhance them in some way. This is goodness, godness. Or, as I was given this morning, the golden light of creation. Wow. Isn't that powerful? The golden light of creation. We go from goodness to golden light of creation, when in truth, it's been reversed. We started with the golden light of creation. This is who we are. This is who we have to remember we are, and to begin to manifest that. So, back to Kuan Yin's message. The Book of Changes, she becomes a guide for us and asks us to trust and allow the circumstances, this is a quote, to trust and allow the circumstances in your life to unfold right now. If there are delays, don't force an issue. Let it settle and sort itself out with as little interference by you as possible. You do not have to let anyone take advantage of you, nor do you have to prevent yourself from expressing your truths and feelings about whatever is happening. However, you are being guided to trust that no matter what appears to be the case right now, this detour or unexpected situation is a blessing from the divine plan, confirmed by Kuan Yin, assisting you in avoiding unnecessary problems later on as she corrects your life direction and helps you move forward with greater grace on your divine path. So this is what that card, the Book of Changes, brought forth this morning. I'm looking at the clock. It's 10:26. It's amazing. And I know people who know me personally. I had a phone call the other night with somebody I never met. It was 4 hours long. People tell me I'm nuts. Maybe I am, and that's okay. I share my nutsiness with you, and thank you for showing up. So in wrapping it all up, at least I'm at that point, all pain and suffering, all the pain and suffering, which is so prevalent now, can be dispelled by our remembrance and manifestation of goodness. It's really so simple that it bypasses the AI, and it's too easy for it. It doesn't want to look at it. It wants some convoluted process. It wants some program that it can dig into. No, it's real simple. The heart is real simple. It's just be good, be nice. Just be nice to others. Both masculine and feminine aspects of what we listen to, trust, and perhaps worship are constantly available to us. So that which you think of as creator is always available. Wherever you are, in whatever situation you're in, you have a direct line. Okay? Firstly, they're there to assist us in our personal journey as evolving humans and to share with all others we encounter along the road we call life. And that's as simply as I can express that this morning. And what was interesting is while I was tapping in and trying to copy and write and re-embrace all of the information that was coming to me this morning, there was a message from Natalie Glasson in England, I believe she is, who was channeling Archangel Gabriel. And so I took a moment and said, okay, I'm just going to read that while I'm doing this. And what I came away was I took some of her words and prayers in prayer and ran it through my own program. And I came up with a prayer. So in closing today, I'd like to share that with you. And thank you, Natalie Glasson, and thank you, Archangel Gabriel, for the message today that touched my heart as I prepared my talk with the world. So let's just take a deep inhale, knowing we are one breath, and that the goodness in each of us elevates each other. Let us take a moment to offer a prayer for ourselves and others, to preserve the purity of all souls and their missions, while we all adjust to the physical reality around us. Take another deep breath. Let us learn to express our whole truth through the abilities and senses of our physical body as pillars of support for the harmonization of the soul within each and every physical body. Let us take a moment to imagine the shift that such a healing could create by radiating our peace, our light, our love as an act of goodness for our souls, from our souls to theirs. With that, I'm complete. I love you. I thank you. I respect you. I am you. You are me. And we are we. May you have a beautiful week. And thank you for showing up and being with me. For those of you who listen later, the same message goes from my heart to yours, wherever you are around the world. May you be blessed and share your goodness. Aho. Have a great day, have a great week, and look forward to the month of March, bringing forth goodness. I'm complete, and thank you all for showing up this morning. Bless you, and may the goodness flow.